An empath's greatest fear is being a narcissist. And I just watched a video of somebody I love who I think is so funny on the internet talking about how somebody came at her for being a narcissist for taking videos and talking at the camera and uploading them. And I was like, damn, that's me. But that's literally everybody on social media, especially the ones who post consistently or have some kind of platform. It takes consistency in showing up. And I don't know, it's hard because like I would be doing this in a journal or I'd be doing this in conversation with a friend. Like, does that make me a narcissist? Does that make me a narcissist that I'd be thinking these thoughts alone, but I'm just choosing to record them? I don't know. I think I've thought about it. So I one time asked ChatGPT if I was a narcissist. It said 4%. It's like, oh, praise God. And it was like, dude, you have way too much empathy to be a narcissist. But then later I heard someone say that, not someone, a professional in the mental health department talk about how when you have had experiences where I'm so hesitant to use the word abuse because I just really don't identify it as a victim. And that's a really important thing, by the way, is that if you identify as a victim, you are a victim. And I know that this is going to trigger some people because they're going to be like, how dare you say that when I've been through these things? I was a victim to this. Okay, in one scenario, sure, we can say that you were a victim to something, but are you going to continue to live in your victimhood? Or are you going to choose to take your power back? Okay, moving right along. So I don't identify as a victim, even though sometimes I go back into certain things that happened in my childhood and I do get kind of victim-y about it. And I've actually noticed them more as an adult. And it's important that we let ourselves sort through the things that were painful or challenging to us, because what I'm getting into right now is that an empath's worst nightmare is being a narcissist, because when you are an empath, you probably had narcissistic abuse and it made you choose to tune into people in a hyper vigilant way so that you were safe. Because if everything revolves around the narcissist, then you being in tune with all the other emotions in the room is going to help you be okay. Because when you're a child and there's no other option, you can't leave, there's nothing you can do, you must attune. And so it's actually, again, a really smart adaptation. But also I've heard, and there might be more than this, so I'm not a perfect expert on this, only my lived experience, that you either tune in or you tune out. And the tune outs are actually those that become narcissistic as well, because they learn the habit and they learn that it's safer to basically protect themselves at all costs and make sure that they are the center of everything. I don't really know how that one works. I literally cannot imagine trying to flip that switch in my house. I have no idea, but damn, it'd probably be a lot easier in the world to live like that. I'll say that. So, I get you guys. I get it. I see you. But no, not for me. Couldn't do it. So anyways, all of that is to say that it's one of my greatest fears, honestly. And it's one of the reasons that I'm so afraid to take my power back and to own my light and to show up and grab the mic and dance and sing and be bright and light. And I definitely am a lot of those things, but I really do hold myself back. And I've been thinking about it a lot, especially because I just did a photo shoot and I was recording the day that I did it and I got all my photos back, and the photographer is a friend of mine and we were just talking about how awkward I get in photos. It's so uncomfortable for me to be the subject. I can be there in the crowd having a good time and hyping people up, but as soon as it's all eyes on me, it's really scary. And I'm really uncomfortable with it, but I'm trying to get more comfortable with it. Also because we have this one life and this one body, and I'm trying to be the most radiant version of me that I can be. And that's what we all deserve, is to take up space as ourselves, because this is the one time. Imagine that you could look back on your life from the sky or whatever happens after this, or just even being super old, you're taking your last breaths and you're looking back and you're like, damn, you always hear this, like, damn, I was so beautiful and young and I didn't even know. Like, I was so healthy, and if only I could have that back, I would dance and sing like nobody was watching and live my life to the fullest, and I wouldn't worry, I wouldn't be so apologetic. Nobody looks back and is like, I really wish I played smaller. No, nobody ever says that. So, like, imagine that you get this little human and you get to play at max, like at super full capacity. I don't know. I think I would really like that. I think I would do that. So I'm working through the discomfort and trying to get comfortable uncomfortably. To comfortable in the uncomfortable. Why does this not sound right? You know what I mean? And yeah, be me. So that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. And I'm sure plenty of people will think this is still like a narcissistic thing to do or something. But I also think that's worth it for me to work through as somebody who's really like afraid of that. Because like I said, of being on the receiving end of, it's like, trust me, I do not want to be that. Trust me if you only knew. So yeah. And I'm wondering if any empaths in the space have the same fear, that like they just really don't want to be seen as that, and they'll do. That's why we people please. That's why we overly accommodate. That's why we're like, yes, of course, whatever you need. Like, we don't want to be perceived as narcissists, which is so interesting. It's so dramatic seeming, but it's not. It's completely irrelevant to what conditioned us to get here in the first place. It's what harmed us in the first place. So we know. But I try to tell people now that as the most selfless types of people, it's important to remember that being more selfish is actually the way that we find more balance. And it's better at the extreme that we're at to be a little more selfish, to like lean more in that direction, because we're so far off the spectrum and the opposite. So yeah, that's also why I trademarked the slogan selfless self-care. Can you guys hear my stomach just freaking losing it right now? Just growling its little face off. It's probably because I've just been eating like tacos. Yeah. Whenever I go back to the mainland, it's just what I just eat like incessantly, because we have to, listen, Hawaii, you know I love you so much with my whole entire heart, but the food, we gotta step it up. Where are the Mexicans at? We need you so bad. We need good Mexican food. I'm crying. We also need good Mediterranean food. Also miss you so much, crying. We get some good Asian food. We're good on that. Yeah, I always tell people, I'm like, it's just like hamburgers, poke, and some Asian food. And like, that's good, but it's not. Yeah, I'm really loading up right now. I actually got to slow down. I got to do a workout tonight. I don't have to, but I want to, because when I travel, especially when I'm traveling for family or friends, or it's hard for me to stay connected to me while I'm on the go. I tend to just like put everybody else's needs first still, especially when I'm like a guest in someone's home, which I am right now, which is why I'm recording this from the car. It can be tricky to stay true to my routine. Yeah, it's definitely harder. So I'm working on doing that, and that's why I'm here in the car hitting record, where I might be for the next few days. And then also I'm gonna do a workout. It's like 9 p.m. I don't even know what time it is, but it's late. But I'm like, nope, I gotta stay committed to me too, because that's what I was gonna say. I trademarked the slogan selfless self-care because it literally means to pour into yourself so much that you are actually in overflow. And it's selfless, because when we are in overflow, which is the only place we have to pour into us to get into overflow, then and only then can we actually give our greatest to other people. And I say this to women especially, who love to self-sacrifice or martyr themselves for the family or their community or whoever, their partner. And I'm like, guys, you are giving them a shell of who you are. The greatest gift you can give them is the greatest version of yourself. believe me, your partner is going to love the radiance. They're going to be like, oh, yes, like what a woman. Your child gets to look at you and be like, that feels safe and secure. And that also allows, especially your daughter, if you have a daughter, to be able to look at you and think, that is what self-care looks like. That is how I need to protect myself. Because you can try to teach her through words, but if you're not modeling that, she doesn't learn anything. All she learns to do is be a martyr too. And I really always say, like, the kids that get that kind of modeling, like, what a gift. And the same, I always say my favorite people to hang out with are the ones that are really good at taking care of themselves, because then I feel like I don't have to take care of them. And that's my old codependency probably. But I could say that probably even from a normal, regular, healthy vantage point, you probably look at the people who take care of themselves in the room and think, cool, hell yeah, they've got their own back. Like, I don't need to worry about them not telling me what they really want and do the mental gymnastics. They're going to just show up. Like, I have this friend who's such a pain in the ass. Like, she's the friend that will sit down in a restaurant and be like, can we leave? I don't like the vibe. And I'll be like, honestly, that's so annoying. I would never do that. But hell yeah, because hell yeah. You know what I mean? For me, and I don't know if everybody agrees with this, but I'm curious what you think. Let me know in the comments. If somebody speaks up on I would rather have someone be high maintenance in some ways, not all the ways. Like, I say that and I'm like, ooh, there are some people that really kill me with that. But like, I just like when people speak up. Like, if they're constantly doing stuff like that, then that's a problem. But you know that if there's something that really bothers them, they're gonna say it. It's not like a bunch of minutia, and like they know how to self-soothe, they know how to self-regulate. They also know how to just speak up and say what they want. Like, I'd rather have that than somebody who's just like, yeah, it's all good. Me, literally, like, oh yeah, my body is on fire, it's totally fine. Like, no, it's so annoying. Like, I see myself there, believe me. And I've gotten so much better, but like, I would so much rather, when I see other people like me, sometimes I'm just like, oh dude, just shut up. Like, just shut up. Just tell me the truth. Tell me you hate the soup. Tell me it's too cold. Like, tell me you're just tired and you want to go to bed. Just do it. Just fucking do it. Anyway, those are my little rants. It's been a long day. I've been in the sun. You guys hear the crickets? Maybe, maybe not. It's really nice though. I'm gonna go do a workout. Take care of me. Take care of me so I can overflow for others and be the best version of myself, okay? Okay. I hope you have the best, most beautiful day/night. And I'll be back on track. I'll see you tomorrow.